There's three ways that you can make your offer as a coach to try to convey value so that the other person wants to work with you. You've got the salesy way, you've got the super coachy way, and then you have the truthful way. I'm going to walk you through all three. I'm going to show you the differences in the three, and I'm going to help you identify which one you default to and which one is actually, in my experience, the most powerful to help you land clients. So the salesy way is where you start getting into your head trying to figure out how to convince the person with a really good pitch. Now, I'm assuming that's not you. For most coaches, that's not you, but you might be more of what I call the hyena, where you are all about just going after the sale no matter what. And these are more typically men coaches. I'm not saying all men do this. I'm not saying there's no women that do, but usually it's a guy, right? It's a business coach, it's a fitness coach, it's a mindset coach. It's somebody that's like very like alpha type A, and they're very like in sales mode. And so they're there to crush the objections. They're there to have like a really irresistible offer. They're going to hit you with a bunch of benefits, like, bullet point style. Here's what you're going to get out of working with me. They're going to really hammer guilt and fear of missing out a lot. There's going to be a lot of manipulative tactics at play in the sales approach. And for someone that really has a pain point and a challenge, unfortunately, they're going to feel the leadership of that person and feel, you know what? Maybe I do need to stop playing small and stop, being a little bitch. And maybe I need to step my game up and I need to work with this person. I mean, they sound like they have their stuff together, and gosh, they're challenging me constantly. Maybe I need to work with them. And that's never felt right to me. It's always felt gross. I've always felt like either I have to have a really strong pitch ready to go for them. I've got to convince them. It's like me against them. I've got to, take them down. And it's also a really draining, depleting way of going about selling. So let's not do that. Let's take, way number one off the table completely. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's manipulative and exploitative. We're not going to do that. All right. So let's look at the second way, which is the coaching way. This is what I call like the Rich Litvin, Steve Chandler, prosperous coach way, where you create this 2-hour coaching experience where there's zero manipulation. That's good. And there's no pitch. That's good. But it's all about the 2-hour long discovery call and giving them that hardcore coaching that you do. That's great. It's great if there's a high level of trust going into that conversation. It's great if there's a high level of rapport going into that conversation. It's great if someone already likes you, trusts you, and wants more of what you're talking about going into that conversation. It sucks when someone does not really know who you are yet, or they're coming from your content into booking that call with you, or a small exposure to who you are before booking that call with you. But they haven't really gotten that sense of like warm, gooey, like I trust you. That's not there yet. They're still trying to figure out if they trust you in the first place. The last thing that person is willing to subject themselves to is a 2-hour discovery call. Would you have a 2-hour discovery call with a homeless person? And not just any homeless person, a homeless person that's going to blather on the whole time and give you conspiracy theories and talk about nonsense. They might ask you amazing questions, but they're homeless. Is that what you want? Or would you, within the first 5 seconds, identify, does this person have value for me? Is this person capable of seeing me, being real with me? You're not just willing to throw 2 hours of your time away. You need to discover in real time, is this someone that I'm willing to invest that amount of time with? Before I even spend money, before I even take the time to consider, investing in this person, am I willing to spend 2 hours of my time? And not everyone is willing to do that. And so if you enter into this type of sales relationship, expecting someone to just want to continue opening up with you and have this amazing coaching relationship, and their frame of reference going into that call is more of an evaluative one. Like, well, how credible are you? How trustworthy are you? What kind of results have you gotten? Why should I listen to you? Giving them a 2-hour coaching process is just not going to work. They're not going to open up to you and be vulnerable with you. They're going to give you transparent, non-transparent, superficial, surface level answers that you're not going to be able to work with. And you're going to get that dreaded you being in the spotlight kind of feeling where they put you on the spot. There's another way to do this. The third way, which I call the truthful way. If the first way is you being a hyena and getting out your fangs and puffing up your chest and pretending to have it all figured out, the second way is being the deer, which is very passive and very, I trust you. I'm a good person. You can trust me too. I'm just here to help you. The third is being what I call the river. And the river brings the truth always. The river is always flowing regardless of how the other person responds. The river does not end up putting himself on the spot and getting awkward. The river is constantly sharing and flowing and expressing. And so the difference with what this looks like in the third type of selling is instead of trying to do a hard sell, instead of trying to just give this coaching experience thing, the river is able to get to the truth present in the moment always. See, what the river is able to do that the other two cannot do, the other two are afraid to do, frankly, is call out the elephant in the room, is to call out the dynamic underneath what's being talked about, the dynamic underneath the content of the conversation. What the river is able to do is to challenge the intent or the perception of intent in the other person. And so if the river gets a question like, well, do you have any testimonials? Do you have any case studies you can show me? Whereas the other two would answer them, the river is not going to answer that question right away. The river is going to listen for the intent behind that question, and they're going to call that out. It sounds like you saying that, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't trust me. Is that, I'll back off if you say that's not the case, but it sounds like you don't trust me. Or if the person is beginning to kind of flip the script and now start to sell something, instead of having this awkwardly polite conversation, the river is going to say, it sounds like you're starting to angle me toward something. Is that what's going on? Is that what you're trying to do? Right? Instead of a person saying, well, you're trying to just sell me something. Instead of going, oh, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to sell you anything. The river is able to say, okay, underneath that, I'm hearing that you're feeling some kind of agenda from me. Is that true? Like, tell me what am I communicating where you feel that agenda? Right? There's no defensiveness. The river is also pointing out what's happening in the conversation as the insight. They're not just taking the content of the challenges of the person, their fears, what's not working, and going, okay, well, we need to work on that together. So let's set a goal together about how to help you move on beyond that. The river is saying, right now you're doing that. You have a fear of playing small. Right now you're doing that. You're bringing that to this conversation in this moment right now. Do you notice the pattern is showing up in real time with you right now? The river understands there is a frame in that conversation. There is an inherent context there that is either being brought by the other person, or there is no frame and the river is willing to create one so that the conversation can move forward. The frame is simply the undercurrent of the conversation. It's the context. The frame could be as simple as, for example, who is trying to sell who? Who is the prize in the conversation and who is someone that's lucky to know the other person? It's these games that we play. Now, instead of playing games, the hyena wants to play games, right? The frame that they want to put on the conversation is you need me. I'm the winner here. You're the loser. You're the one with the problem. I'm not. I've got to figure it out. So you pay me money. And if you don't pay me money, bad things will happen to you. That's the frame. And so anything that doesn't fit into that frame, the hyena is trying to jam it into that frame. But the deer gets blindsided by frames. The deer doesn't show up with an agenda, but they also don't show up with a frame. And so it's easy for the other person to put the frame on the conversation. All right, and tell me, how long have you been doing this? Okay. And do you have case studies? Okay. And what is it that you do exactly? Like, tell me, what's the ROI out of this? What do I get out of this? Why are you asking me that? And the more that person's asking questions, the more they're strengthening their frame. And ironically, as the coach, your whole purpose is to show them that their frame they're putting onto their life is directly the problem. And of course, they're using that same frame now in the conversation with all these bullshit questions. A really good coach, a river, is going to point that out. A river knows there's a frame. And if he doesn't like or she doesn't like the frame, or feels like that frame is moving the conversation away from truth into, now you're asking me to prove myself to you. You're asking me to do like a dance for you. And I don't work best when I'm dancing. I cannot deliver the truth to you if you feel like I constantly need to convince you of something. The river is willing to also walk away from that conversation if it gets rude, if it gets disrespectful. The river is able to say, look, we're not going to continue this conversation anymore. I wish you the best. Goodbye. The river is non-reactive emotionally. They are fully present, fully attuned. They do not seek validation. They don't seek the other person giving them that pat on the head like, wow, you were asking me some great questions. You were amazing at this. The river doesn't give a shit. The river is there for the truth. And the truth in the moment. Not, I've got this idea I want to get them to. I got this big offer. I want to find a way to, there we go, got it in there. The river isn't concerned about how articulate they are and how good they are at expressing their ideas. The river is concerned about what is the truth here in the moment, in me, in you, in us. And the river is constantly directing that conversation back to it. And if you're able to do that, you're already in my experience, the top 1% of coaches in the entire world, and consultants too, because no one else is really doing this. Everyone talks about it. Everyone can point it out on other people. But when they themselves are in a sales context, and when they themselves are marketing, when they're meeting someone for the first time that does not trust them, most coaches fall apart here. And they're either too aggressive with the frame and they just chase the other person away, or they're too passive. And this is about identifying it. And the frame that I suggest for you at all times is, I am just trying to figure out and discover why we're here. I'm trying to figure out and discover what the truth is for you and for us going forward. I have no idea what it is. There's no agenda beyond that. I don't know if we're going to work together. If we're meant to work together, we're meant to work together. And if I sense that and feel that, I will speak on it. If I don't, I will speak on it. There might be some big insight that I have for you. There might not be. There might be something that I sense you need to confront. There might not be. But I don't feel like this 2-hour discovery call process that I need to subject myself through to prove how good of a coach I am is what's needed. Instead, the way that I truthfully and on a real level interact throughout the entire conversation is the demonstration of value. It starts from the moment we get on the call together. That's what it means to be a river. Where are you too aggressive, too passive in your sales process? Where are you sacrificing the truth and instead choosing how you come across? Where are you not being real enough because you're worried about the other person feeling uncomfortable? And where are you taking too much responsibility for their comfort in experiencing you throughout the conversation? That is where I will leave you to think about and to take your next conversation, your next discovery call, the next, even if it's someone that might not be a client for you, the next conversation that you have. What is the frame of that conversation? Own the frame, clear the frame if it's inappropriate, and bring both of you into the space of truth. And watch what shows up with people, the opportunities, and the momentum that you create in your business.